This is the November 8th, 2023 meeting of the Walpole Conservation Commission. Town of Walpole, Massachusetts. Notice of intent of land disturbance permit, Conservation Commission public hearing in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, and Stormwater Erosion Control Bylaw. Notice is hereby given the intent of Mario Musto of Arcadia Brothers LLC, Hyde Park, Mass., to construct at 120-126 South Street, map 33, lot 135 and 136, 12,000 square foot warehouse, driveway, parking lot, and associated drainage and utilities within a portion of the 100-foot buffer zone, BVW, and a portion of the riverfront area to the Neponset River. Notice of intent application and plans are on file at the Conservation Commission office. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person September 13th, 2023, beginning at 7:20 p.m. All interested persons requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. We have a letter from town engineer. This is dated November 7th. The engineering office has reviewed the plans, multi-page report, supplement to stormwater management plan, and a 5-page letter response dated October 30th from William Buckley, project manager, Bay Colony Group of Foxborough, Mass. Reviewed the response revisions provided Mr. Buckley, which addressed my 9/13/23 review provided to the commission. All items have been addressed. The agent and I have discussed possibility of adding additional inspection ports to the middle of the underground infiltration system. Design currently has inspection ports at each pipe at the ends. I think the current design is adequate, but certainly do not object to adding inspection ports. Construction details, surface infiltration, basin detail. My prior comment was to revise the drafting so the soil logs were legible. Once this was done, it makes the detail difficult to read. Suggest moving the soil logs off to the side, leaving the note about groundwater as is, listing design K, and show the basics of the outlet control structure in the detail. Remaining items may be easily included in a planning board revision should the commission wish to approve. This
You
is,
don't have to read that.
okay.
This is stuck to
see.
the letter.
Okay. So, representing the applicant,
Mr. Chairman, good evening. My name is Bill Buckley from Bay Colony Group, and I'm going to apologize right up front. My voice is gone, so might be cracking a little. So as you read the comments from the town engineer, we've made modifications to the drawing based on the engineering department's comments received from the commission, and comments received from Ms. Hershey. And we gave you a letter on it, but what I'd like to go fairly quickly, and I can answer any other questions you might have. But if maybe you could turn to sheet R1 on the drawing set, it's toward the rear. And maybe the third or fourth one from the rear. Okay. So we created this sheet in order to, specifically for the commission, so that we can focus in on the things that, under the Wetlands Protection Act, the commission was asking us about and we needed to discuss. So what we've done is we've showed, there's two different plans here on the left side. There's the existing condition, and we've shown the riverfront area. We put it in red this time. And then we showed the degraded riverfront area, which is kind of hatched out. So we did this in a narrative before, but now it's more clear in it. And you can see that the total riverfront area is 6,690 square feet, of which about 5,197 square feet of it is currently degraded. And I broke that down for you so you can see that 1,133 square feet of his building, and the rest of it is pavement and gravel in the back there. And then up top, there's just a table that basically just says what I just said. And then over on the right side, we've given you proposed conditions over there to show you what it would look like after development. So, of course, the total riverfront area stays the same. We've created a restoration area of about 1,900 square feet that we've hatched out. And down below, you can see a planting table with a combination of shrubs, trees, and seeding in that particular area. There's about 4 trees that are currently in the riverfront area that are remaining, and you can see them more clearly on the left side, I think. And what we've done is just supplemented those, planted these, they're actually all shrubs around them, and then the area between the trees, which is the edge of the riverfront that's currently degraded, toward the basin, that's all planted with a seed mix. And so what we're looking at is, before we had about roughly a little over 5,000 square feet of degraded area, and now that's been cut back to 87 square feet. So only a small corner, which is down here, a small corner of pavement and wall is the only portion that is currently would be degraded. The rest of it is either going to be stormwater basin, restored area, or area that hasn't been touched and we're not touching it either way. Over here in the lower left corner, we've given a little narrative for the contractor for the riverfront area restoration plan on removing the debris, invasive species removal, on how to do the planting and seeding. So again, trying to make it clear to whoever the contractor is going to be what he needs to do in this area. I was also asked about, or we were asked about, the environmental, was an environmental assessment ever done here? And a phase 1 environmental assessment was done for the site. And it's my third item there. And I discussed what the findings were. There were 5 borings throughout the site, and they're actually on the drawing. You could pick them out. There was one down in this particular area, and a couple in the front, and then up on the other side of the building. They tested them for these items here, which I don't really know what they are, but I took them out of the report. Petroleum hydrocarbons, volatile petroleum, volatile organics, semi-volatile organics, and metals. And none of them were found to be above the reportable DEP reportable concentrations. But the contractor did recommend, the LSP did recommend that any soil being removed from the site, which there will be, needs to be tested. So I dug a little further into that, what does that mean? And what I found is that, so when you're doing a demolition, the building code, section 54, requires that anybody doing a demolition permit, unless it's a first or 1 or 2 bedroom house, that must include a hazardous material mitigation documentation. And that notifies the building commissioner in the town where the debris are going, and they must be brought to an approved facility. And that's Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 54. And then also, on top of that, the Board of Health, DEP, gets involved in this because you're doing a demolition, you have to file with the DEP a construction demolition permit notification and that mostly has to do with asbestos. So if there's anything to do with asbestos, it has to go to can't just go to, I don't even know where there's a landfill anymore, but wherever the landfill, it's only special landfills that are allowed to go to. So there's definitely some protection in here, which is just standard, which I knew you had to do a demo permit, I just didn't know the details of it. So that will be done as well. we were asked to do a detail of the wall, that corner of the wall, so the engineer asked us to do that. And that was added to sheet 5.5, and it lies within the buffer zone, so that's why I mention it. We were asked to do some additional sedimentation control by Landis, and so we've added some per her request on the sheets 6.1 and 6.2. The compost sock also has an orange construction fence with it. We made sure that the construction entrance was a minimum of 25 feet, and then a temporary siltation basin. We specified it. We don't know exactly where it's going to go, but I put it on the plan where I think it should go initially, and then that will be up to the contractor dealing with what his plan is to do the demolition. It could be moved around, there could be multiple ones, but he does have a detail on how to do it. So I think that addresses the comments that I wrote about in my letter, and you have the town engineer's comments, and if he'd like us to add a couple more inspection ports in the middle, they would be glad to do that.
Okay, thank you. Landis?
Yep, so I reviewed the information that was, the revised information that was submitted, thank you. When I emailed you, I don't think I had a hard copy of your letter, so I knew I read about the mitigation, the environmental assessment somewhere, but I can't remember where. But so we got that, and that's good. I'm glad there's been some investigation of the site so that the neighbors and the commission can feel better about that. So I just had summarized in my report regarding that if this is a development of a degraded riverfront area, which you also explained that there's a building and pavement degraded riverfront area of 5,197, and after the mitigation, you're only altering 87 square feet of the riverfront area. I think that partially with your wall in the corner. So it was really nice to see the restoration plan. And then the basin is also in the riverfront area, which is allowed as well. The stormwater was designed according to the NOAA Alice 14 rain data for extreme weather events, which is what we like to see, which is the highest rain data that we have. The town engineer has reviewed it pretty thoroughly and is satisfied also with the completion of the project as it is. There may be a tweak here and there at planning board, but if they close tonight and issue decision, usually if there's any changes with the planning board that don't affect the Wetlands Protection Act or the bylaw, you can just summarize those changes. Sometimes they're pretty slight and they're not going to impact the plan. And then other than that, I just have some suggested conditions if the commission decides to close and issue an order. That's it.
Okay. Dean?
So you're going to demo the existing structure.
Yes,
You've done an HBMA study. This is outside purview of our, but you've done HBMA study on the building?
what is an HPMA study?
Hazardous Building Materials Assessment?
I don't know if that's been done.
Okay. So, but all the material will leave the site?
Yes, there's nothing going to be buried on the site, the building's going to be removed, and all of the asphalt and pavement that's currently there will either be ground up and reused, probably not, or removed from the site.
Okay. And then when you remove soil, so you were mentioning a bunch of regulations. So what we didn't mention were the soil regulations for Massachusetts. So if you do remove soil, who suggested the services of, did the LSP suggest we test soil?
Yes,
Yeah, I would strongly recommend that, given the location and proximity to a Superfund site in this area. So I would, do you know how much, cubic yards or tons of soil you're gonna remove?
not off the top of my head, I don't, no.
Okay, so there is a specific set of standards for sampling soil, that is in CMR 40 for Mass General Law. That will tell you how much, typical soil you'll have to sample, and that's how, that's the standards they use to collect that or conduct that Phase one, well, technically the phase one's done under ASTM, but they used MCP regulations, which is CMR 40. And that should go to a licensed soil disposal facility,
Yes,
which they have specific standards that they'll sample for. Do you have a copy of that report?
I do.
Okay, cool. Can we get that, or does it matter?
I'm not sure I can release it, but
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I have it,
Your summary is okay.
yeah.
So if you want to know, you sampled for VPA, GPH, or typical hydrocarbons found in, let's see, here's the letter. Found in most like petroleum products used in cars, manufacturing. And you sampled for VOCs, so, and that's good that the, nothing was found. Have some more questions?
Anything else, Dean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we have the foundation. Is the building going to have a basement?
No,
So just a slab on grade?
yes,
Okay. That's good. And you're gonna bring in soil, you're not going to, are you gonna reuse any soil on site?
if possible, I'm sure that we'll want to, but if you're familiar with the site, if you stand there and look at the site, it goes up
Yeah.
and then it goes down. So that hill is gonna come down. I imagine this is gonna be an export site. It's going to be an export.
Great. Okay, that's good. Just be mindful of any of the contamination. So it's up to, the contractor to follow the MCP. So the only reason we're concerned about this is the historic use of the site
Right.
and then the proximity to the Superfund. So, if you see big pockets of stained soil, I would not spread all that around. That'd be very bad. And do you have a maintenance plan for the basin?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes,
that'll be
that's included in the stormwater report. It's an appendix. We have a construction plan, post-construction, and we have a long-term maintenance plan as well.
And what's the style of the basin there?
It's a infiltration basin, it's a dry basin,
Okay, so it'll stay dry.
yes.
Okay. And the spillway, if it spills, will spill out onto the gravel path?
No, yes, that will, but right now it flows to the north, and it will continue to do that through a level spreader. But if there ever is an overflow, it will go over toward the
River.
railroad track, yes.
That's fine, that area. Will you have any tanks? Fuel tanks, oil tanks?
No.
Are you gonna store gasoline on that site or diesel?
There's no plans for it right now. This site is, I call it a flex building because we don't know what it is, but he's been talking to a dance studio, and it's a
Great.
possibility of that, but it could also be up to 6 contractor bays. So if they do store any materials like that, anything above the normal numbers, they're gonna have to go to the Board of Health.
What are you gonna do with the snow? You're not gonna put the snow in the basin, right?
No, there's a plan, I think it's sheet 7, if you take a look at that.
6.1,
6.1?
I'm looking at it.
These are typical questions we ask.
That's okay. So 6.1, what we've done is we've shown on there where we can put the snow storage, and then what would be necessary to remove, and no, it's not in the basin.
You have a 6.1?
It might be on the smaller one. Maybe we're missing it.
I'm looking at the large,
On the lot, you have a
Well,
6,
here's a 6.1 on the small.
should be one in here too.
Oh, snow storage right up against the wall.
There's some there, and there's some over on the north side in the vegetated area.
Oh, yeah.
Storage.
And there's actually a little bit over on the left side, the south side as well.
Can we put a sign up that says no, is there gonna be a fence around the basin?
Yes,
Okay. Can we put a sign up that says no snow? No snow stockpiling? Is that something we can do, Landis? Yeah?
I mean, we could, but they're not gonna, do you think they're gonna dump snow on a fence?
I think we're gonna push snow everywhere. At 2 AM?
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Thank you. No other questions from me. Thank you.
Bailey?
No comments.
Doug?
I was also looking at the snow storage area that's right along the 100-foot buffer. Will that be a paved area where that snow is stored?
Yeah, and there's a wall there too.
Yeah.
So there's a wall there, and there is and it's paved. So all of that runoff, as it melts, will go into that catch basin.
Super. And when it's not snow season, will there be signs there to keep people from parking along in that area near the 100-foot buffer? Since it's paved, people might be tempted to park vehicles there, right?
I mean, they might, but it's really tight down in that corner there. We do have signs, if you go to sheet 3.0, we do have signs, I know it's hard to see, but if you look to the north side of the building, there's fire lane, no parking signs, and on the south side of the building, fire lane, no parking.
Yep.
And if you look in the back, we've striped out a big section that says fire lane, no parking.
Okay.
So it's,
Highly unlikely.
you gotta really be
It ends-
asleep
parking ends there.
to miss all that. Those were requested by the fire chief too. He wanted us to
Okay.
make sure.
That's good. No more questions.
Emilio?
What will be the time between the demolition and construction? Is the site going to remain bare for any long periods of time?
I don't know, but I would guess, this is a guess, no, because once they get in there, they're gonna go. It's just time and money. So I don't know, but I would say probably not.
Because we don't want storm water running off and, you know, that sort of thing.
Especially high.
Right,
If it's a bare site for any long period of time, so.
yeah.
Is there a statute or is there
There is a
We
stable.
usually put in a boilerplate for sites like this that there should be temporary stabilization. Not that a site shouldn't be left for 2 weeks or a month. So if they stop in the fall and they're not gonna go back until the spring, it should be
Right.
seeded or stabilized.
That's all then.
Al?
Well, there's something that's on the plan, but it's not on the property. There's this Jersey barrier between the site and the railroad bed. Wonder what that's all about.
That's to delineate the trail,
I don't know.
the property. I believe it's to delineate the change from the private property to the town's
It's in the middle of the
property.
town's property.
Is it in the middle of the town's
Yeah.
property?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 30 feet.
Yeah.
I've been talking, as part of this project, of course, I've been talking to the building commissioner
Right.
and the town engineer, and I think everybody was under the impression what Landis just said. Everybody thought that's the property line. I said, no, the property line is like half a foot off the rear of the building.
Yeah.
So I have no answer for you. I don't know who put it in. I don't know what it
I
does.
think I think it was just at the time, the best place to put it when there was a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
to the rear of the property.
Right here.
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's,
That sounds like, makes sense, because there used to be a lot of junk there.
yes.
No, here's my guess. Here's my guess, total guess, when I'm looking at this. A typical railroad right-of-way is 33 feet wide, 2 rods, 33 feet. So if you measure that off the center of where the railroad was, it's 17 feet
Right.
off of it. So maybe they were just guessing that the railroad right-of-way through there was 33 feet wide. but
I
it's-
think they knew. I think it's because when the town acquired that, there was encroachment from that property on the right-of-way. And it was to stop the encroachment, but to give them time to clean it up and do something about it. It's my recollection.
Okay.
I think
I got,
they found that there was a number of properties along that line
Yes.
that had apparently taken over what is the town's property. So that this was, I know there were, when you went down there, they had stakes out and they were all halfway towards the
People's lawns.
the buildings, whatever they were, houses or commercial,
Right.
that were into their, quote, backyards, if you want to look at it that way, that, so,
So what's gonna happen with this area that is being encroached and occupied by this building that has asphalt?
Nothing. I mean, we're not going to go on the town, city's property and do anything. Town's property, so I don't,
It's just gonna
we don't plan on doing anything. We're gonna set up our erosion control barriers along our property line and then work on our property. So that's,
Except any of the landscape material that's been sort of dumped along the Jersey barriers will be removed, I'm assuming,
No.
by the current.
I have no control over the current owner, so I don't know,
See the edge of this
But-
building?
make a condition.
That's this building here.
we could condition that they are
Yeah.
allowed to go on town property to remove
The stuff that
the
they dump.
material that has been dumped there.
Yeah.
This area,
I would say we should do
but it
that.
has a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff on it. So all that debris is gonna go, though, on that property, right? On the town's property?
That's what I was just saying. I mean, I have no control over the owner. You know, I represent the applicant and the buyer, so that was all dumped by somebody else.
Well, I would
Is
say,
all
that-
that stuff still there currently?
I haven't been there for a couple of weeks, but it was there the last time I was there.
I would say that we would include that in our order, that would be removed. If the applicant decides that it's not their responsibility, they'll have to come back to us. But I think we'd put it in the order, and which would then give them permission to go on the town property to remove that.
Can we spruce it up, too? No.
Pardon?
Can we ask them to spruce it up, or no?
No, I don't, I think the extent we can do is to remove whatever debris is there.
And/or illegally dumped items, trucks, buses?
Well, yeah, anything that isn't, natural material. The
Anthropogenic,
material-
anything
Whatever they've got, I don't know what it is without
It's
looking at it.
well, yeah, what I saw is landscape debris.
Yeah.
It's been sort of stockpiled.
When's the last time you were there?
Right on the other side of the Jersey barrier from the trail.
I think any foreign material, however we word that, would be required to be removed. And basically, we would give the owner the right to go on town property to remove that.
Yeah, so I would suggest you handle it two ways. One, we could write it in the order, and two, we should send them a notice of non-compliance under the stormwater bylaw.
We can,
Because
I would
it's-
say we'd do both,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm saying you approach it both ways.
Right.
It's not really in the, I don't think it's really in the riverfront area, maybe a little bit's in the riverfront area. I think most of it is probably outside, but I think we can send a notice of non-compliance for removal of the material under the stormwater bylaw.
Okay.
Josh, is there any way you can bring up Google Maps on that, or?
Yeah, definitely bring up Google Maps.
See, look at you. You have front row seats.
You're the best addition.
Technology.
Technology.
What address?
120? Is 120?
Yeah, 126 South Street.
120 and 126.
Go to that satellite.
Click on this, you say?
Oh,
No,
that
yeah,
site.
The aerial's probably great.
The aerial?
That-
Yeah,
that's-
we've had an enforcement order on them before for materials that were dumped.
Hit
That
that
place has
button.
been like that for, was that the one I'm thinking of?
Josh, hit that arrow. Yep.
This one?
Yep, hit that arrow. See
All kinds of equipment and
down
stuff
there, it
there,
says
right?
layers.
Yep,
Click that.
you got it?
Super. Zoom in, enhance. Enhance, enhance, enhance. Great.
Look at that.
There's Betsy walking down the rail trail.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
Is that good?
The media asked for it, yeah.
Yes. If you could just close that left, is there a way you can close that left,
Panel.
Hit the tab arrow. Yeah, there you go.
over? All right, just want to get a better feel for what,
No, you really have to
No,
walk
in
by.
this area, aerial, right now between Jersey barriers and the building, along that area, the gravel area, there's more dumping.
Yeah,
Here.
I don't know what,
yep.
if,
North is up.
I don't know what date this is.
It looks like this was this year, but probably early this year.
Yeah, there's material, but
There's more there than it shows here.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
And that's what,
Okay, yeah, we need to address that.
Different
Did they
image.
Stop putting stuff there.
Huh, you do.
Okay, anything else? Who, was that
Uh,
Al? Was that, okay, Betsy?
All right, well, everyone said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I wanted to say, great improvement. I like the way you described the environmental assessment. Thank you for doing all that. And I was gonna ask about the Jersey barrier. I absolutely think that the material has to be cleared, because actually, if you look at the riverfront line here, there is a lot of material in the riverfront, considering most of it is on town property. And so I guess the only question that hasn't been asked is one that came up last time by the abutters who have been monitoring the situation. They said, currently, like right now, dumping is going on, and can it be stopped? And so has it been stopped, or since the last time, has it continued?
You know, I couldn't even, I know who the owner is because I know his name, but I have no contact with him. He's not my client. I don't know any of
Well,
that.
you might pass on to your client that the client is gonna have to do some cleaning up unless the client has a word with the owner. I mean, it's possible that that message should be relayed.
He
Well, I
knows.
think we'll do
He
that
knows
also.
from, he knows. I mean, the town has been very, proactive, I guess is a term, or whatever. The building commissioner, the conservation commission, planning, has all been talking to the current owner about it. So my clients fully understand that that needs to be cleaned up, and
All right,
however
so-
it's done, it has to be done.
See, because it's a pretty visible site. I mean, pretty much everyone in town knows how to walk on that beautiful rail trail, so.
it is.
It's one of the more visible industrial areas in town, so.
Federal money was so contaminated.
You
kind of-
plan to send something to the current owner about the,
There's a huge remediation shed here.
whatever, that he should discontinue any,
right, I thought that was
any
what we were
additional.
just talking
Yeah.
about. So we were
Do
going
that.
through the public hearing here in regards to the filing that's in place by the prospective new owner, and then we just sort of on the sidebar discussed that the commission should issue a
Yeah.
notice of
Yeah.
noncompliance for, I guess, I kind of remembered that the property line went too close to the building, but I
It's a
didn't
huge culvert.
remember that when the landscape material was there. I thought it was on their property, so, certainly, yes.
It was also junk cars.
The current owner will
Yeah.
be notified of.
We need the current owner, and I don't know if we want to copy the prospective,
Yes.
the applicant on
Yes.
this. So that's in there.
Yep.
Okay. When you remove the material that's on site, is there a record kept of where that goes and what was in there, feedback as to what they found when they goes to the destination?
Yes, so under the building code that I was talking about earlier, that it has to notify them where the debris are going, where they're being dumped.
Okay.
And then if for some reason it doesn't go there, because what happens is that form has to be filed at the very beginning. But let's just say, for whatever reason, some materials don't go to, I'm just gonna throw this name out, Plainville, so it has to go to someplace else. That change has to be told to the building commissioner. He has to be
So
notified.
that comes, so every truckload that goes out, there is a report
A
to the
manifest.
building commissioner.
I'm not sure it's every truckload. I'm not sure if it's that detailed, that type of manifesting. But if it's not brought to where the permit allows, then they have to be notified.
My point is if it comes back to the town where this stuff is going, then we'd have a record of it at the building department.
It's the building
So we
department.
don't have to require notice to Conservation Commission, unless we decide we would want to. Is that something that we'd want to consider, or that the fact that it is coming to the building department, that's adequate?
I am under the understanding that the environmental assessment and mass contingency cleanup are under other state regulations.
Okay,
And that the Mass Wetlands Protection Act states, as long as they're complying with those other regulations, they comply with the Wetlands Protection Act. So
okay,
I feel that there are other regulations in place in other departments in
Okay.
town that have more knowledge and deal with those regulations, and so that we should let them do their
Yeah.
job.
okay, that's good.
Is there an LSP in this picture here?
You reference.
There is an LSP who did the report. I forget his name, but
Okay, so he has certain responsibilities along that line where the stuff goes anyway.
Okay, anyone else have any comments, questions from the board? Okay, anybody in the audience have any questions or comments, please identify yourself for the record. Okay, hearing none, someone make a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, 700. Thank you.
thank you very much.
The order, we just have gone over a number of items, and you have some that you were
Yep,
proposing.
The items I have in my report is that the demo debris shall not be stockpiled in the riverfront area. Demo material shall be trucked out and disposed of in appropriate manner. You can say, as per the hazard mitigation plan. Site shall be reviewed at the end of each workday, and any material that's blown over to the wetlands resource area, the buffer zone, shall be removed. Subsurface infiltration system installation shall be witnessed by the engineering department and verification sent to the conservation in writing. Infiltration basin and subsurface systems shall be as-built upon final grade prior to use. Construction entrance shall be resurfaced as needed to prevent tracking to South Street. Infiltration basin and riverfront restoration area shall be graded and then planted during first growing season. Restoration plantings shall not be considered complete for 2 years.
Okay, plus the other things that
Plus
we had
the
spoken
other
about.
things.
You have those noted.
So removal of the landscape
Yeah.
debris to the rear of the property.
Yeah, including up to the Jersey barrier.
Just on town, including
Yeah.
material on town property.
Right. And it's not just landscaping material, I mean, it's, so I would
So
say,
how would you like that condition written? I just want to make sure I get it correctly, how you
removal
want
of
it.
debris, not just landscaping material, because over the years, there've been junk cars there.
Say anthropogenic. Anthropogenic sources, great word.
Removal
On-
Anthropogenic,
on-
man-made.
On town property,
Man-made things, anthropogenic. It's a great environmental word.
of man-made,
man-made
Just any debris,
removal of
debris.
debris,
Woman-made.
any foreign material, debris
Versus anthro, I don't know.
on town property be
so not to the
removed.
rear property, you want on town property.
Town-
Yeah, up to the Jersey barrier.
Well, I don't know if there's anything over the barrier.
Not really, there's a whole lot of
You just
invasives.
cover it. It's on town property.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Would some
So,
photographs
on town
help?
property
Shows
of
us?
No,
measures-
you
Yeah,
don't,
we know
leave the
it's there.
Jersey barriers out. It's on town property.
So what was the? No,
And the owner slash applicant, right, one or the other has to remove this. Well, this is to the applicant, so it's the applicant has to remove it. The owner isn't involved with our order.
Well, we'll just put in the order that the material has to be,
Yeah.
the debris
Right.
the debris has to be removed from town property.
Yes.
And the sign.
All debris and foreign material must be removed.
Do you want to put a time
A time,
prior to,
that would be good, a time limit would be good, because then that would
Well-
encourage no further dumping.
Well, all right,
Yeah.
prior to, can you get this stuff out without demolishing the building?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Then,
They got it in
They
with the
got it
building
in.
there.
yeah,
So prior to demolition.
yeah. Then basically, first thing to do is get rid of that stuff.
Okay. We'll also put that in the notice of non-compliance to
Yeah.
the owner.
Right.
And then you want a sign on the fence of the detention basin that there should be no snow stockpiling.
Yes, ma'am.
No snow stockpiling
Basin.
within the detention basin area. Is there anything else? Okay, so we'll make that a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
700.
thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Be a great project.
I hope it's a dance studio.
Hope it's a dance studio.
Me too.
Be awesome. Oh, no, I know where this is.
Okay, what do we got
It's
here?
gonna be a dance studio, they gotta have
Yeah, I
enough
live down.
parking.
It'd be what?
Park,
Parking.
Park at the senior
A
center.
special spot for
the
Dean.
dance studio in Plainville, they all line up like in front of the building
This is from experience.
along the road,
This is from experience.
That must
on the
be.
parking lot, on the cross, the sidewalks. All big SUVs.
That's at the four-way to start, yeah, my nieces go there.
And they'll be parking in the town parking lot.
What town parking lot?
The senior
Across
center,
from the
right there.
senior center.
No, that's
no.
full
So you
of
don't go there?
seniors.
Oh, no,
Please,
no,
Al.
your child cannot walk that far. It
Yeah.
has to be, go from door to SUV.
No, they're not part
Especially in
of
the
it.
winter with the little tutus.
All
Zero
right,
time
let's
outside.
move on. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission, request to amend an order of conditions in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given the intent of John Glosser to amend the existing order of conditions, EP number 315-1274, for 485 Lincoln, map 30, lot 13, Walpole, Mass., to relocate the proposed house and driveway, as well as to add a barn and pool into the order. Request for an amendment, letter, and plans are on file at the Conservation Commission office. Public hearing on the above matter will be held person November 8th, 2023, beginning 17 p.m. All interested persons request to be present. So, let's see what we have here. The Board of Health, October 24th, 2023. The Board of Health will not be meeting before comments are due on November 8th. Therefore, the Health Department would like to reiterate Board of Health's previous motion on this project. Board of Health at its October 18th meeting voted unanimously, they strongly oppose new construction within the 100-foot buffer zone. Board would recommend that, if approved, the applicant adopt standard best practices for mosquito mitigation for lots 1, 2, and 5, which would include working with Norfolk County Mosquito Control for spraying and standing water treatments, as well as instituting regular cleaning of gutters. The board would also like the applicant to know that since the project will contain on-site septic systems, the applicant must submit plans directly to the Health Department for each proposed property. That's Board of Health. This is,
Oh, okay.
do we have anything from engineering?
Sure, pass these down. Okay.
I can do it if you're confused.
All I have is this.
Oh, here's a small version.
Thank you.
Okay.
Representing the applicant,
Trevor, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Donald Seaberg. I'm with Gloucester Engineering. And with me tonight is Antonio and Kelly Torcasio, who are the future owners. Good evening. So, what we're proposing is, we've rearranged the house a little bit from the originally approved one. The new owners will come in, and this is what they want to build. Footprint is going to expand a little bit. They're going to add a pool and a pool house. The proposed barn, the driveway was relocated to the other side of the property. Basically kind of keeping the same limit of work as before. The one thing that we got from Landis, and we will fix this, is we didn't put infiltration for the pool area and the shed. We'll add that to there. One question we had on the commission was, as far as drawdown for the pool, how much would you be looking for, like 6 inches, or so we can properly size it?
I think the usual question is if you have to draw down the pool, how will it be drawn down and where will the water go?
Yeah, I mean, well, it will be drawn down, it will end up going into one of these infiltrations, but it depends on how much we draw it down. If you're looking for like a 6-inch drawdown for the pool, we'll size it.
that's not our, the amount of drawdown is not our purview. This is up to what you do to operate the pool properly, or whatever the owner wants to do. That's not up to us.
So that would end up going right into the proposed infiltration. And then would end up putting a couple scuppers in here and tie them in for the patio. The other comment is, the owners would like to come in here and do some selective cutting and clean up these areas in here to just dress it up when they move in. They want to save all the larger trees and just make it nicer, basically. The other thing is, there will be no animals or anything. The proposed barn is for storage and, a future workshop or whatever. They're not planning on having animals in it. And I believe that was the questions. I'll leave it up to you with any other questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Landis?
So the barn is just gonna be for storage, but there's gonna be no additional paved area to the barn?
No.
Well, there should be, the driveway should continue to that barn over the,
I'm sorry, identify yourself, please.
my name's Antonio Torcasio, my wife Kelly Torcasio.
Okay, and, all right,
So
repeat what you said, please.
we would like to extend that driveway to that barn, to the barn area. So that septic system, will be designed to, obviously, care for the weight of the vehicles over it and all that stuff, so.
Over the well.
It would be strictly for storage and just, I am a contractor, so I've always had like this intention to have my own little workshop as well, aside from the house.
Okay, Landis? Yeah, anything else?
Okay, yeah, so that should, if there's gonna be additional driveway with pavement, that should be shown on the plan if it's within the 100-foot cover zone. So the areas that are shown as wooded, but there's no additional grading, there'll be some management of vegetation back there, but there's gonna be no filler grading. Okay. So you do realize that the limit of the work is the erosion control line,
Correct.
which is shown on the plan. And just the discussion with the pool, I add that because whenever someone proposes a pool in the backyard, one of the commissioner's questions is, well, what happens if you have to draw down the pool? We don't want pool water with chlorine in it or salts or whatever,
Right.
just to be discharged to the wetlands. So we want to know if you have to do that, where it would go, and that you know that you just don't put a hose in or whatever and just drain it off to the wetlands, because it's not good to put salts or chlorine into the wetlands. That's it.
Dean?
So the clearing of the trees, that's all within the limit of work?
Yeah, just looking to open up the space around the house and just kind of open up. I got 2 children, a dog, we want kind of open space. We're coming from Newton, we don't have any land.
No land.
So we'd love to, I mean, we bought 5 acres, we'd love to open it up just to be able to enjoy some outdoor space.
Okay, so you see on this no alteration plaques, that means there's no alterations beyond those plaques towards the wetlands. So we've had a lot of folks come in here and they cut down trees on their property and it's in the wetlands, so no one, no.
Would just be with the limitation of where we are, and not looking to go any further than that.
Okay. The roof drains, all the roof drains drain into the drainage thing?
That's correct, yeah.
And even with the barn?
Yep, the barns, you can see that there's a drainage system off the back of the barn.
Oh, yeah, I do, yes, thank you. Okay, no other questions, thank you.
Okay, Bailey?
I'm sure I'm just missing it, but can you point out the fence around the pool? Is it like immediately around the pool, connected to the pool house, or?
I don't see a fence.
There's not a fence shown, but there would have to be one around, I would imagine, right around the patio.
Yeah.
Around the patio? Okay.
I'm looking to kind of fence in a larger back area that's including the pool area, so it'd be a larger area than just the pool, just to have easier access to come through. But yeah, it would be definitely fenced in all the way across, or all the way around. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I'm just thinking if you do, yeah, make it larger, where would that fence go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously to the backside where the pool house would be, that's not, I wouldn't be going further than that. I would just, in the front of it, just
Gotcha.
have a little bit of grass area as well as the patio.
Awesome, thank you. No more questions?
Hey, Doug?
You mentioned you wanted to extend the driveway to go to the proposed barn, but it looks like that cuts right across the septic field. Is that going to be a paved driveway or crushed stone, or?
To me, you know, it's something we'll have to figure out what makes sense. I would prefer a paved driveway, just so I can plow it and be a lot easier to plow.
I'm just
but-
wondering if that's permitted over the septic field. to
So I've
seal
asked
it.
about it, and we just have to, when we do the septic system, we just have to make sure that we acknowledge that and make sure that we can hold the weight of a vehicle or whatnot to go over it. So if it's the tanks or whatever we end up using for that, would definitely be reinforced to be able to handle that.
In your 1,500-gallon tank, it looks like that's lower than the field, so you got pumps to pump up to the field.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to,
I assume there'll be high-level alarms. If the pump fails, you'd get an alarm warning you.
we definitely,
Part of
Wired
it.
into the houses.
Yeah.
Typical little light that comes on, and
Yeah, okay. No more questions.
they're calling for trenches, which you can drive over. Some of the other ones, if you have the infiltrators,
Yeah,
not as good, but this is
Designed
definitely
for
you can do.
yeah. Okay, that's it.
Emilio?
Questions?
Al?
No questions.
Betsy?
No, no questions.
Okay, that was my concern with the driveway going over the septic system, but that's your problem to design that so that it is adequate for whatever vehicle is going to go over that. So you'll need to revise your plan to show that the driveway goes to the barn.
driveway, yeah, and then the additional stuff is here for the other.
Okay, and you have the plaques. You've got them all the way. You got, okay.
Yeah, they come all the way up to pretty much the front of the property to the,
Yeah, I just wonder whether we need any across the back of the property. Because your wetland line, you're coming into,
Interesting stream. It apparently is dead ends right there.
that's a 100-foot buffer, okay.
It's
Yeah, okay. All right, that protects that wetland on that side. Okay,
Existing stream.
all right, no one's in the audience. So I'm gonna take a motion to close the hearing. So moved.
Second.
In favor? Aye. 700. Okay, the order, we'll hold the order till we get the revised drawing. And, everything normal order for this? You know, anything
So this is
special?
an amended order, so
Amended.
they have conditions from the original order, which is what, the deadlines go from the original order, and this just amends that plan to include the additional activity.
Okay. Good, so someone make a motion to accept the amendment? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
700. Good, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Have a good evening.
He said scupper, I don't know what a scupper is. Yeah, yeah.
I already got the next one. You want me to put that back in?
Like a fish?
Let's see what he finds.
This is like a million.
Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth, of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission, land disturbance permit. Accordance with the Walpole Stormwater and Erosion Control Bylaw and Regulations, General Bylaws, Article 2, Section 499-13 to 499-30. Notice if I give the intent of the League School of Greater Boston, file a land disturbance permit application, construction of a 2-story educational building, a 1-story maintenance building, and a greenhouse with associated grading, parking, and utilities. Located at 231 Moose Hill Road, map 28, lot 189. Plans on file with the Conservation Commission, 135 School Street. Public hearing on the above matter held in person on October 11th, 2023, beginning 7:15 PM. All interested person requested to be present. He's been opened and continued. Do we have anything new? This is from town engineer. Reviewed the plans, stormwater management, and a response to, from the project manager, High Point Engineering. Okay, the following minor items remain. On sheet C505, site details. Number 17, on the surface infiltration basin cross-section C2, provide a note to indicate removal of all top and subsoil as well as any unsuitable material, and note K value used for design. And number 19, on recharger 330 XLHD, cross-section B1, indicate removal of all top and subsoil as well as any other unsuitable material. Show 100-year elevation and note design K rate. You have seen this?
I have seen this, yes.
Okay. And that's all we have. Okay, representing the applicant?
My name's Joe Pickerly with High Point Engineering, representing the League School of Greater Boston. So,
Plans? Do they have these plans?
Yeah, do we have plans?
I have them on the interwebs.
Oh, we have a great big one.
you guys need a second to get the plans?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Cut down a lot of trees.
Still on the school side on
It's on
It's across Moose Hill.
Two of them now.
No, I got a small, it's fine.
Okay, all right.
You,
Over in this area or something.
Yonder.
Yeah.
want to tell us what sheet you're going to refer to?
Right?
You can start on C100.
C-100, okay.
C-100?
C100.
Oh, no, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enhance.
Go ahead.
Okay. So since we last met, we had received comments from the town engineer. We've addressed all those comments, as you just pointed out in that memo. Just a couple quick notes that we're going to add to a couple of the details. Most of the comments were stormwater related. We tweaked the model to include design storms from the NOAA Atlas 14. Just provided some additional information on pre and post volumes of runoff and peak runoff. The first sheet in front of you is the erosion control and demo plan. We've changed the call out for erosion control to be filter socks, which is one of the comments that came out last time. Also adjusted the limit of work slightly. We're trying to not encroach on the southern property line there, so we pulled over some of the grading just to keep the abutters happy. Just less tree removal along that southern property line. Also, on this sheet, we're now showing a couple of temporary sediment basins, just to kind of trap any sediment that's coming off the slope of the site. Those have been designed for in excess of 1 inch over the disturbed area. Currently, we're proposing to disturb just over 3 acres, which kicked us into this land disturbance review. Going to sheet C200. Not a whole lot to discuss here. That's changed since last time as far as the layout goes. Up farther against the paved access driveway, just to give us some more grading room to pull this tree line over away from this property line. If you recall last time, that tree line was pretty much right up against this property line here, so we've just pulled that over just to keep some more buffer to that neighboring property there. Going to the drainage sheet, C300. Again, not a whole lot really changed for the town engineer's comments. I just want to point out again that we are infiltrating all storm events up to and including the 100-year event in both these two infiltration systems here. The first one in front of the school being the underground Coltech system, and then here in the corner in the natural low point in site will be a surface infiltration basin. Not providing any overflow for the underground infiltration system since we have some freeboard in that large storm event. And then for this surface basin, we are providing a emergency spillway. They'll just go onto Moose Hill Road. Not really expecting that to overflow even in a large storm event, but we just wanted to provide it just in case of emergency. So I think that really covers the changes that we've made since we last met. Be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Okay. Landis?
I don't really have any questions, except one just came to mind at the moment. How's this slope gonna be addressed?
On the 2-to-1 slope,
What?
this slope here.
Yep.
Yep, if you go to the landscape plan. It's
Oh, wildflower slope seed.
got metal wildflower mix that we're proposing.
It is CL 100.
Sorry, that's Elseworlds.
He's the weak school.
Yeah, so one that slope in the backyard is proposing this wildflower split seed mix.
Let's see, were you on L what?
L100? It should be after the detail sheets.
Anything else, Landis?
No, I don't really have any other comments. It's been pretty well looked at by both the town engineer and myself, and the comments addressed. There's a letter I think you have in your packet that addressed all the town engineer's comments and any comments from last time. So feel pretty confident about the design, and I just have some suggested conditions if the commission closes it. So this, just to remind the commission, this is a land disturbance permit. There's no wetlands adjacent to the property.
Okay. Dean?
No questions?
Bailey?
No questions.
Doug?
Trying to get a handle on the sewer discharge. I understand it's going up to a main that's in the street. Is that pumped up to the street, or is it gravity?
So it's gravity from the school down to a pump station, and then from that pump station will be to a street to.
All right,
Yep.
so if the pump should fail, there'd be overflow risk at the vent system?
I don't think so. We are showing a holding tank just outside the school,
Yeah.
and there'll also be a alarm system that will be on the maintenance building. So that's kind of our fail-safe.
But if nobody's in the maintenance building to hear it, people won't know to not flush the toilets or whatever.
True, but again, there is some capacity in both the pump station itself and that holding tank upstream. So they have some time to
Take
take
care of the
care of
problem.
it, correct.
Okay,
And they also do have like the same system across the street currently, so they are familiar with how the pump stations work.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Amelia? Al?
On these slopes that you're going to seed with the wildflower mix, I like that, but I'm not sure how you're going to keep it stable, because that's a rather steep slope. What are you going to do to keep it there while wildflowers are starting to grow?
It's a good question. We would have to work with the contractor on his means and methods and what he wants to do for temporary stabilization.
Yeah, there has to be something, and if you don't specify it up front, the contractor can say, well, I didn't know I was supposed to do something, and it all washes down and makes a big mess. So I think you ought to give some thought to how you're going to stabilize that, because wildflowers, most of them are annuals, and they reseed themselves each year, and it takes time for their roots to get going, and so in the interim, there ought to be something to make sure that these slopes are stable.
And typically in our notes, we do discuss, temporary stabilization while the site is disturbed.
I think this is a good project, but that could end up creating quite a mess if we had a heavy rain and we got all this bare soil.
Yep, and we understand that. That's why we're providing some temporary swales that will kind of catch off, intercept any runoff from the site, into those temporary sediment basins. If you look on sheet C100. Yeah, so you'll see those kind of two swales right at the bottom of the proposed slope. They'll intercept anything that comes off and go both to the left and right down to those temporary sediment basins. I think there's one right where his arrow is now. And then the other's on the corner of the property, right off Moose Hill Road. Yep.
Well, that still doesn't address what you're gonna do on the slope to keep it from washing away while the seeds grow.
We can always specify mats or
Yeah.
netting on seating.
Specify something.
Some jute mesh.
Because you don't even say it's gonna be hydroseeded with a stabilizing mix.
What's the steepness of that slope?
2 to 1.
45 degrees.
Anything else, Al?
That's all.
Okay. Betsy?
Nope, no comments.
Nice project.
Thank you.
I have a question to follow up on Doug's, on your sewer system. You got an on-site septic system here?
There is existing on-site septic to be demolished.
On this parcel, that's, okay, and then, so you're collecting it and just tying into the other, for the school, the existing property?
Actually, no, it's gonna go to a existing manhole.
Have you got it, what drawing is that?
Let's go to the utility sheet. Should be, C400.
What sheet is that?
C400.
C400. So in the,
C400,
yes,
L,
back that way, the other way.
No, so
C.
they got up to 200, right?
the C, you got L. These are all Cs.
I think you said C400.
T is in Tom.
No, C,
Oh.
C is in cat.
Charles.
Charles.
Tango.
400.
Charlie. Charlie, that's it.
Okay,
It's Tango?
so, what are they looking at?
gravity coming down to this pump station here. And then proposing a forest main, coming across the property, cutting across Moose Hill Road and into this existing, sewer manhole. We've inspected that sewer manhole and there is a existing sleeve for us to tie into.
Great.
That was put in when they did the, project down the street. That, I think that
Oh,
was
so that-
40 project.
So, where's your pump station?
It's right
Force
here.
main. Okay,
Gotta follow the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. Okay. Let's see, anybody in the audience? Any comments? So, so we're going to make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
700. Okay, for the order, this is for land disturbance permit.
Again, that the demo materials shall be trucked out and disposed of in an appropriate manner. Site shall be reviewed at the end of each workday to pick up any material that's blown around. Subsurface infiltration systems shall be witnessed by the engineering department and verified to the commission. Infiltration basin shall be as built upon final grade as-built provided to the town engineer and conservation. Construction entrance shall be resurfaced as needed to prevent tracking to Moose Hill Road. And we can add that slope shall be stabilized with jute mats upon seeding,
Okay.
just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Anybody have anything else? Okay. Someone make a motion then to, for the order as noted?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
700. We need some papers to sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank you, guys.
I think we have a couple others.
Yeah, so this is for the COC from last week that I wanted a clean copy of for $295.
I'm just too tired.
You have a copy of the minutes?
Copy the minutes, no?
And this is for
This is Lincoln Road.
Lincoln Road. Okay.
At least you didn't have the baby. Maybe that would have been easier.
Yeah, wife's having a real hard time sitting watching TV, reading books all day.
You have a copy of the minutes from the last
Oh,
2
yeah.
minutes?
Should be in your thing. It's not in here?
It's not in mine.
No, it's not in mine either. He sent it in an email.
Yeah.
South Street.
I don't know what to say.
No comments.
I trust you. About everything.
But I wasn't here at one of the meetings, and I forgot which one it was. I missed one.
And then the land disturbance.
I hear you.
Moves along.
What?
It's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, I know.
Question. Can I ask a question? Is that a question? Can I ask two questions?
One first.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
maybe.
Second question. So, there is going to be a section now of that rail trail that's going to beyond the Jersey barrier that we've blemished. We have money. Is that our property, technically? The Walpole Woods?
It's town property.
Is it conservation property?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Never mind.
You said two questions. Did that answer both of them?
It does.
Okay.
Just kill two birds with one stone.
And, okay, what else we got here? Dean's question, one on here. We have meeting dates on here, but we did that last week. Do we need to do
Yeah.
anything else on that? No, okay, so that's done. Okay, minutes from, what was that last meeting was October 25th was the last meeting? I do believe. Is that right? Someone want to move those minutes? I don't know if there's any, what did I do with them?
They were mailed to us, emailed.
I think, October 25th.
Yeah, you should have October 25th and June.
Okay,
28th.
I do have a little, on page 2, the third paragraph, you have Steve Virgilio question what the project, and I guess it should be will begin, and how long it will take. It says being, B-E-I.
Okay, typo.
Just a mix-up of the letters. It's what do you call those things when you mix the letters up?
How do you know that's not what I said?
It makes more sense this way, whichever way you want it.
Are you accusing me of making sense?
I'm
On this meeting.
offended.
Telephone media.
Don't we normally record if there's an abstention to a vote?
Yes.
Okay, on page 3, the top paragraph, expenditure Conservation Commission trust funds, Dyer abstained.
Oh, yeah, does it say it?
Well, no, it doesn't say specifically, it just says those who voted, but the vote is 601.
Oh, I see what you're saying, add very specifically that.
That- And on the last item for the minutes of 10:11, there was 403, and there are 3 abstentions, Wiley, Burchesky, and Beavis. So that, I think this should be, so someone move the minutes as noted.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
There you go, Dean.
That was, everybody was here, wasn't they? Okay. Do you normally would put your name down as being attending the meeting?
I haven't,
He
I
should.
could if you'd like.
You
me.
Probably should, just so who it is that's recording.
You're important.
Thank you.
Dean says so? So true.
I'll take it.
The minutes of, what's this one? June 28th.
Jack,
Yes,
the minutes that we just accepted was which date?
10:25.
that's 10:25. Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
okay. 10:20, June 28th. Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Minutes were so far.
You and I were.
I just have, again, another typo on page 4. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th paragraph down, and you have PAN, it should be PLAN, plan. The revised plan showing, just to, so it makes sense. Anybody have any other corrections, additions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, Doug and Medio were not present, so. So we'll move those minutes of June 28th.
I'll move them.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. And opposed and abstained, so it's a
We abstain, right?
502. Good, thank you.
So are we caught up on the minutes?
Almost there.
We're getting
I
there.
think we have like 2 or 3 outstanding, and then obviously this one.
Yeah, you're catching up. And it seems to me there was some of those minutes were a lot of stuff going on, so. That, minutes, we did, okay, North Street. Landis and Gary Riggett and I went out there Friday and marked a tentative trail to the public access area. I found a tick, too.
I found a tick too.
Oh,
On Jack?
Blammo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're supposed to
that's where I got
teen
mine.
tick checks.
wood tick or deer?
I knew they were out there.
Wood tick or deer tick?
Deer tick, it was small. I didn't find it till Sunday,
Oh dear.
and I went Monday and had it
Right away.
removed.
Ooh, that's worse.
It's still standing, so I guess it's all right. But that was, I don't know what Gary found, but it was interesting. We marked a trail. I believe there are certain members of town departments want to take a look and make a site visit, so we marked the trail so it could be shown that there is a tentative trail to that area. And I guess we need to do some other things also to complete that.
The trail.
Access, yeah, the trail and access to the, actually to the water.
Right, yeah, we just have to coordinate with the land holdings and NEPRA about any work we do on the land holdings property. But there is it is written as a land easement and water easement, so there's an easement on that property for public access. But it was just a very nice site, it was very pretty up there, you get a totally different view of the pond, and there's a little concrete foundation out there, so that it looks like there was a building, small building of some kind out there at some point.
Plus,
Plus crouch.
two old, I don't know if they were together or they were separate recliners
Yeah.
that are, some, I would say, a state of disrepair at this
Very
point.
much so, yes.
Okay.
How they got there.
So do we have to
they're
get those
heavy to
removed?
move. Anyhow, but it is a beautiful site.
Really up to the property owner, I would say, to remove them unless we offer to do it. It's the property owners.
Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't on the land, sorry, it wasn't on,
Conservation land, no, it's
Okay.
on the land holdings land that the public access easement is part of.
gotcha, thank you.
So, Pinnacle Trail updates, anything on that?
No,
Okay. We got any certificates of compliance that are ready?
yeah, so Pennington Crossing on East Street, Pulte, we've been working with them to complete a punch list from the town engineer as well as me getting the swale number 2, water quality swale number 2 set. And they cambered the foundation drains because there was suspicion they weren't working properly, and there was a couple areas that pipes were crushed. So they went in and fixed those, and they fixed the swale. So that was pretty much the punch list, and then a couple little items towards the rear of one of the buildings where there was little dips that were collecting water that really shouldn't have. So those were addressed, and
So it's ready?
it's ready.
Okay, so want to make a motion for
I'll
certificate
move
of
it.
compliance?
I'll move it.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 6-0-0. Are you voting on this, Al?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're
Do you direct the butter?
in the butter.
Is and a butter. He has to abstain.
So I would guess,
Yeah, I would think that you would abstain
yeah,
from the,
probably. But does he, so he doesn't sign the
right.
form either, so. All right, 6-0-1.
Bum, bum.
So just make note that Al abstained. Okay, now for Pine Acres off of North Street, still working to resolve the issue of who will be taking care of the stormwater system, subsurface infiltration on the private lot, and they understand what the responsibilities are. There are observation ports, but the observation ports were buried, so they really need to be, have caps at surface so that they know where they are, so that they can comply with O&M, which says that the system is supposed to be reviewed annually. Borden Estates still also, again, has not complied with the DEP condition requiring that the commission be apprised of the next party who is responsible for the stormwater management system, and that party accepts and acknowledges their responsibility.
Have they done the plaques?
So that's on the, right, that's on the individual lot 5.
Wasn't that also part of the
No.
subdivision?
There was no plaques. Plaques
Oh,
have not been
okay.
put up.
Okay.
So the next one on the list is Hayden Lane, 16 Hayden Lane, DP 315-1285. That is the landscape project to the rear of the house with the patio and walkway, and that has been completed.
So that's ready?
It's ready.
Someone want to move that?
I'll move it.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. 700. Okay. Enforcement orders, nothing new on Main Street.
So,
We had another one to sign here. right?
yeah, Main, 1900 Main Street has had activity and a change to it. So I'm suggesting that it be taken off the agenda.
So it officially gets sold? Like there's something at the Registry of Deeds that says so?
So my understanding, it has been sold. And that Mr. Santos has passed away. So the enforcement order is on Mr. Santos and the activity that he was doing on site. So I would just suggest taking it off the agenda. You don't have to vacate it yet, but taking it off the agenda.
Well, we still need whoever the new owner is to get whatever is outstanding completed on the
Well,
site.
when the new owner decides what he wants to do with the site, yes, he has to comply with the stormwater management system and any other requirements.
Okay, was there anything outstanding that needs to be done now that has been pending all this time?
Well, when the rear of the site was being used for storage of
Yeah.
vehicles
It still
and
is.
altered, then it needed a stormwater management plan.
But really, all those vehicles are still there, right, Landis?
The vehicle's there when I'm going by.
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering, did it really exchange hands and
All
the
I'm
vehicles?
suggesting is that you take it off the agenda. If you want to wait for it to vacate the enforcement order, then you can wait.
Okay. All I'm saying is, there's still something needs to be done on the site. So how do we, so we don't completely forget
Having it
about
on
it?
the agenda really is just symbolic. It's not a legal thing or anything. It just means it's sort of on our mind now and then. I mean, most weeks you go, no change. But I
I
mean,
don't want to say more than I feel
Yeah.
is appropriate at this time in a public hearing setting.
yeah.
But there is knowledge of what needs to be done out there, and that when it's a new proposal, there will be a new proposal that will come before the Conservation Commission, and it's just been requested to remove it from the agenda until this new owner can decide what to do with the site. Right now, you're an enforcement order on a person that's deceased. So
Okay, yeah, well,
that's
that's
why I
not,
think it's appropriate to
Yeah.
take it off the agenda.
okay,
It's not going to be forgotten,
okay.
if you take my word on that. Without saying more in a public
Okay,
setting, I
that's
feel
fine.
extremely confident that it will be addressed, and it will be addressed very well.
Okay.
If you're
Okay, I'll move that.
We don't have to vote on it,
Oh, we don't?
I don't think, do we?
Yeah, because you're not
Oh.
vacating anything, you're just taking it off the
Just
agenda.
Okay.
off the agenda. All right, Peach Street, that's still ongoing?
Peach Street is still ongoing with Andrew Adams. The last time I talked to him, there was a lawsuit with the people that he cleared their property, and they were working out
Okay,
disputes.
so that's still opening. Clarkson Drive, we're waiting,
Clarkson
another
Drive did
growing
plantings,
season.
Right,
Yeah.
did plantings,
Okay.
waiting for this.
all right. Let's see, Wall Street Development. Have we gotten the formal report
No.
from the court? So
No,
it's
so
still,
we still have just the recommendation from OARD to DP Commissioner, but we have not received
Okay, so
the final yet.
Just wait and see, wait for that, okay. And the other Warwick Road, I see we have, that'll be on our next meeting, executive session.
No, so the agenda that you got in the mail, I noticed that that was still on the agenda, so I revised the agenda that was posted to take that off.
So that's off.
Right, so what you got
Okay.
tonight, it's not on there at the bottom. That
Oh,
that was
I
a
got the
leftover
wrong
from
one.
the last
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, so there's nothing, but that's still pending.
Right, I have
Okay.
not received any additional correspondence from OARD in regards to that.
Okay. Any other correspondence that is,
The only other correspondence is what I handed you tonight, Jack, is just the opening
Oh.
and the closing of the warrant. Nothing.
this is the, from the select board, that if we want anything on the Springtown meeting, that close the warrant on January 23rd. At this point, we don't have anything to request on the warrant unless somebody has something that, you know, we're not,
Usually it's
Haven't put
capital
that-
budget or.
yeah. So, okay, nothing on that. So just, if there is anything that comes up, we have till January 23rd to request, to put the information forward. Anybody have anything else?
Just to give, I guess, an update on the Washington Street culvert, so when we closed the hearing for the Washington Street culvert, when you guys closed the hearing and voted to issue the decision, we sort of agreed that it wouldn't be issued until they addressed the plan that showed exact location, the resource areas. In the middle, since then, DEP, Andrew Poyant, has spoke up a little more strongly in regards to the punch list that he sent with the DEP number form that he expected to be addressed in more detail. So the consultant is working to address that further, to document why they can't meet the 1.2 bankful conditions size of the culvert. And that really has to be wrapped up by November 13th, which is 21 days after the vote by the commission to issue the order of conditions. We'll probably have a little wiggle room because of the holiday, but once that, we kind of go over that date, then we really need to issue the decision. If DEP is not satisfied with the consultant's information, they may appeal it. That's where that stands.
Okay.
But all parties seem to be working towards not appealing it at this point.
So the engineer is hard at work coming up with meeting that requirement, which would possibly require a request for an amendment to the order.
They need to show that the 10-foot wide culvert is as wide as they can go. And if they go any wider, there could be negative impacts downstream or upstream.
But downstream, they have a blocked pipe, partially blocked.
I looked at that the other day. I didn't see any blockage.
Well, it's like a half moon. There's a big round pipe.
Yeah.
And it's like the water's flowing over.
Is there like a weir on the pipe?
No.
No, okay.
I didn't notice any,
What would you call it, Dean?
The pipe in the road? The DPW road?
Yeah.
There's no, it's just a big concrete pipe.
it was flowing well.
I think it overflows in the big
I
storms.
did not notice. You said that you saw a board.
It was a half, if this is the round thing, it was
Yeah.
like, it fit into the pipe.
Fit into it?
Well, it was,
Oh, okay, I'll take another look. I didn't notice anything, but that's,
at any rate, okay, so it's going to affect the DPW yard?
It definitely, if they're gonna increase flow, wouldn't it?
It might
Since the
not.
hearing closed, you issued the decision.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
posted that-
Sorry.
I'm just bringing you up to
Oh,
date.
we're not supposed to discuss it.
I mean, I'm just
Right.
bringing you up to date as what's happening between DEP and the applicant, and that it hasn't been issued yet, so there's,
You're letting us know there's there's a date that things have to happen by. Do we need to do anything by that date?
Groovy.
I think the issue to look at is if they make a change, does that affect downstream? There's a significant, a lot of stuff
Although the
downstream.
The change is to make more shoreline now. Right, so, okay.
So that, I mean, it's a little, gets to be a little more complicated. If you change things, then what does it actually do downstream, if anything? But there's a lot between there and where it flows, eventually flows into, we looked at, was it go into the pond and eventually into the Neponset River? It goes into,
It goes into a little pond,
yeah.
then,
So anyhow, all right, anyhow, let's see what
To be
happens.
determined.
Okay, that's it.
so want to move to
Are
adjourn?
you ready?
I
Okay.
move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody objected? I guess we're done.